Last year, that would have been a great trade.
Sure, it would have. Sure.
Yeah, not so much this year.
No, but that's your approach.
Speaking of Joe Mixon may actually be a good buy low candidate.
Yeah, you might be. You might.
I think
he is on a
think
winless
you could get
team.
him away. Yeah, you could get him away for pretty cheap. So I wouldn't say that he would be your number one or your number two, but I mean he's a good depth piece if you have or if you need something, you can give some away.
Yeah, but speaking to that tactic, like be careful. There is a limit of like how there's a strategy of negotiation. You start with you being the clear winner of the outcome, and you can work your way toward the middle. But if you're making the initial trade proposal, but if you go too far, like you're just going to upset the other person, and they're going to then not even want to entertain a counter offer. So make sure that you're staying within some parameters.
Yeah.
Be realistic, unless you're just doing it as a joke, which is also fun.
I mean,
trade a kicker for a good running back or something.
I mean, you would think that maybe someone wouldn't accept on that, but then it happens, and then you're like super upset.
Right.
So it could happen.
It could happen.
If someone's not really paying attention.
Right.
And I can tell you as a commissioner, guess what I'm not doing? I'm not overriding a trade. Ever.
Okay.
Unless for a fact I know there's collusion.
I think that's a good point.
Unless I know for a fact there's collusion, I'm never overriding a trade. Okay. No commissioner should ever do that.
Yeah. All right. I think it's a good point. That's why you stay commish.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's also about, like you said, knowing your audience. Like, know what their intelligence level is of the individual players, too. So, if you have an up-and-coming player, you may not be able to trade that to someone because they don't understand who that player is.
Yeah.
So, you may not be able to go get a name if someone's an up-and-coming player. So, like, that's why, like, someone like Damian Williams is on the buy low right now.
Right.
Most people, they know the Kansas City offense, and they know how he finished last year, but he hasn't been around this year. So people that don't necessarily understand the league or follow it as closely as you and I do, they're not going to understand that Damian Williams is a great person to target and go out there and acquire. You look at some other running backs, David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, Devin Singletary, like those are guys that you want to go target because there is good opportunity there, and maybe the owner is ready to move on. And, maybe because they're on, a losing team and they can't wait for the opportunity anymore. They need to go get someone now. Those are the players you can target. So you got to know the owner's mindset, their intelligence level with the league and the players. And sometimes shotgunning terrible trades works.
Yep, agreed. And that was a good conversation on fantasy trades. Up next, though, on our show, we're going into our Who You Got, where we pick a topic and we make a selection on who we got on it. For this episode, I actually really like this one. Yeah. Been looking forward to it. It's about best and worst logos of the MLB World Series. We did some research, and as far back as we can go, which begins in 1974, this is pulled off of a website called sportslogos.net, kind of see the whole evolution of these logos. It started off with no real consistency in the look other than maybe the colors of red, white, and blue. Then you get into the 80s where it was very consistent, and then the 90s was the longest generation of it. You get a similar style for the late 90s and early 2000s, and then now we're back to this every year. It's a little bit different. So we have quite a variety to pick for the last 40 years or so. And really, I want to pick a favorite, start off with that because it's a little soft on as far as, debate goes. I really like the ones in the late 70s, 78, 79. It's a good look. I think it's very clean, simple.
78 I really like.
78 is cool. Yeah, the 79 one, they colored in some of the... Like, they just got a little too cute. Done that. They didn't need to do that. 78 is absolutely better. I agree with you. And then the 80s. It's very simple, clean. They could bring that back next year, and some people go, oh, yeah, that's cool. Because I think that style is a little more timeless on that one. So I think it's a good look. When you get into the 80s, 90s, I don't know. You get a little sketchy. We'll talk about
80s,
that.
90s,
my overall favorite was close. I looked at 2010, 2011. Those are some cool ones. I like the change in the colors. You get more gold and navy blue or maybe some orange in there and a nod to the fall classic with some leaves in there. But 2017, I think that's really the best one they've had. I like it as far as a more modern look. But I think your pick, Eric, once you describe that one, it's also like really stellar. It's top. It's up there.
Yours is one of the few, at least that I can see, one of two that actually has the World Series trophy in the logo. which is unique.
Yeah.
My favorite is definitely 2014. It's very simple. It, in big bold, just World Series 2014 under it with the MLB logo. It says Fall Classic and Major League Baseball. The font is great. It's very simple. You know what it is. I do like the 2010, 2011 as well, for the same exact reason that you do, especially that kind of like olive green and autumn, fall leaf color on the 2011 one is really great. And then 1974, the first one that we found, I just love the kind of throwback, big bubbly kind of letters to it. I think it kind of speaks to the time on what we're looking for there.
You would like that one. That one's not my favorite at all, but it's very 70s. It looks like no one 70s, really tried.
Which is why I like it.
Yeah.
So, and then you mentioned like late 80s, like 87 through like 1999 are very similar, and especially from 92 to 97 are almost identical, just a little bit of change in the color, and I can't stand them. They are so bad, but the one that makes me the angriest when I look at it is 2004.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me physically want to get violent with someone. It's so bad. Who designed it? This is like
2004 is bad.
It's like a fourth grader's like art project that they made. This
clip
is
art.
So bad.
Yeah.
Whoever did this should like never be allowed to do anything professionally ever again in their life. It's so bad. Whoever also did 2006, same thing. You suck.
All right, some heated exchanges there on those logos.
So Eric, passionate about the logos.
You are very
right?
passionate. I agree, though. 2004 is just awful. It does not look good. It is the clear standout of just the worst logo they could have put out there. However, my close second is 77. This isn't the old west of like going to Ma and Pa's ice cream parlor.
It is very like World's Fair kind of look to it.
It looks so stupid.
Like if you went to like Dollywood or like someplace like that.
Yeah, you could read it and go, World Series? I don't get it. Oh, it means for baseball, you mean that World Series. Oh, because there's no acknowledgement to the sport at all.
Agreed.
That's one thing I like about 2017, having the trophy there. That's what any other championship logo kind of incorporates, and it's a cool logo. I mean, the cascading flags, or we all know what the World Series trophy should look like. If you don't, look it up, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But to have that on there, I think is neat. It is a little busier, and that's why I think your 2014 pick is that is one they could roll with for a while. And really
I would agree. I would love that.
Yeah, and just break away from that generation series that they were doing in the 80s and 90s of keeping it very consistent and using similar elements. I wouldn't mind if they go back to that, so that way every year it's not just like, whoa, what is this? Because really, 2019, do you like it?
Yeah, it's not great.
No, I have to say the same thing. I don't think
probably
it's
the worst in the last decade, for sure.
Too much color going on in the diamond. I don't know what they're really trying to do with that. And then
I'd say it's the worst in the last decade.
Yeah, it's just
I like it. I like everything before that all the way up until 2008.
Yeah. Another one I kind of like too is what broke the mold of using this that latitude and longitudinal lines of a world being used. They did that a lot through the years, from dating back to early 90s to 2006. 2007 still had a piece of that, but much cleaner and a simple look of that, easy to replicate. I think that was a good look. Then from everything on, it was kind of an improvement. Although 2008 was almost a step backward. It's also kind of
like, let's go back to
I don't want to forget about that one.
1996,
right.
Guys. Let's do that.
Yeah, 2008, we had the iPhone then, and that's what you come up with? Come on.
Yeah, or I guess 1998 is probably the closest to that.
Right,
yeah, it's bad.
All right, for our lightning standings, it's that time now of the show. MLS Soccer is heading into the playoffs. Can the defending champions Atlanta make a comeback? Can they do it again? Do they repeat? They are back in it. They start on October 19th. Eric, though, while we break down the bracket, you want to take the West or the East?
I'll go ahead and take the West.
All right, go for it.
There's a total of 7 teams. Not everyone's probably super familiar with how the MLS playoffs work. So 7 teams from each side make it in. And the number 1 seed overall gets a first-round bye. So then over on the West side, we have the number 4 seed Minnesota playing number 5 seed LA Galaxy. On the 20th, we have Salt Lake and Portland, number 3 and 6 seed there respectively. On the 19th, also on the 19th, a little bit earlier in that day, is going to be Seattle, number 2 seed, and Dallas, number 7 seed, are going to play in the bottom half of that Western bracket. And the LAFC Football Club will be, I know that was a little redundant, but the LAFC are going to be the ones getting the first round bye, and their first game is scheduled for October 24th. Late start on the East, but it's going to be played out West, so no big deal for them.
Yep, and they will take on the winner of the Minnesota and Galaxy game.
Winner of Minnesota, LA Galaxy.
Moving over to the East, starting in that first round of brackets, the 4 and 5 seeds. That's number 4 Toronto and number 5 DC United. They're squaring off on also October 19th. On the 20th is the number 3 Philadelphia and New York Red Bulls. On the 6th, they are taking place on 3 o'clock in the Eastern time. And back on the October 19th date, at an earlier start, 1 p.m., it's the defending champs Atlanta going against New England at the number 7 seed. And your number 1 overall for the East was the New York City FC. That's a football club? Is that right?
That would be football club, yes.
So that also, those guys will take on the winner of the Toronto and DC United game. So I think it's a good landscape of some teams up there. It's good to see Portland, Salt Lake back in there. Galaxy's kind of a perennial team to make it come back, and as well as both LA teams. Both New York teams making it though too. That's good for them on that one. And missing some teams like the Rapids. They've been in there.
Yeah,
I think Orlando's
Colorado, Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City. That's a good call for them not to make it this year. But hey, better luck next year.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to see, though, some good soccer coming up. That's going to do it for your Lightning standings. How about best games to show as we round off this episode? Eric, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting to it tonight, then obviously the Astros and Rays game 5.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this episode on the day that's airing, then go for that. Other than that, obviously the rest of the MLB playoffs, but I'm gonna take it back, and I'm just gonna talk about the MLS playoffs. So let's keep it a little bit different. Watch some of those matchups, and we'll be talking about it as we progress through the bracket for the MLS.
No doubt, I like it. Some good football matchups. I think the best game to watch coming up for Week 6 is the Texans and the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
I'm gonna like that one. 49ers and Rams though also.
I think that's gonna be a great game.
Their record, like what are they, 3-2?
Yeah,
like nothing to related to like last year. They were what 7-0, 8-0 or something. They look like they were going to dominate, in which they did.
Down to earth a little bit, but
yeah.
I still think they're going to be better than the 49ers, especially at home. The Rams are certainly a better home team.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Rams in that matchup against the 49ers. That's a great one, too.
Be a good pick. Then, of course, MLB playoffs. World Series, baby, coming up 2019. Yeah. Forget about the logo. Let's watch some baseball.
Yeah.
It's going to be good with the Cardinals, the Nationals, the Yankees are in, and then still to be decided, it'll be the Astros or the Tampa Bay Rays. Thank you. And that's going to be good. All right. That's it for us on this one. Thanks for tuning in.
Guys, yeah, thanks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and we will see you all next time. But also, send us your show thoughts and ideas, avgsportsguys@gmail.com. See ya.